1, 2, 3. We want to welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Tell Us. Our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. Okay, we have Hantie. Everybody's wondering what happened with Mom and Dad. They need Jesus. So that's where they're at right now. So I'm glad they're getting a lot of Jesus this weekend. Amen?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Amen. They're at they're at a camp meeting this weekend. Praise the Lord. They go to camp meeting, and they're in Illinois. 3 ABN. So we're glad that Mom and Dad are getting Jesus, and hopefully they get sanctified when they get back. In the meantime, speaking of sanctified, we have an incident here. Wisconsin dad tells cops why he pushed superintendent off stage so he couldn't shake daughter's hand. So a police report details a white father's explanation to cops for why he shoved a black school superintendent off a Wisconsin graduation stage to stop him from shaking his graduating daughter's hand. The scandal began on May 31st when Matthew Eddy walked onto the stage at Baraboo High School graduation as his daughter was shaking hands with school officials as she approached Superintendent Rainey Briggs, who is black, by the way. The father jumped on stage, grabbed the superintendent by his arm, and dragged him away from his daughter. If you've seen the video, it shows of this incident. He put his hands on me and pushed me out of the way, stating, "You're not going to touch my blank daughter," Briggs told police. "At that time, I created space and stated, 'Get your hands off me.'" That's what the superintendent. Now, Eddy has been charged with disorderly conduct, and Briggs has filed a restraining order against the man. Of course, the cops said they don't think race is involved, but the school has several students emerged with them doing a Nazi salute. You're seeing an age, Hantie. You've seen this. You lived this. You've seen this, and it seems like it's on its way back. And it's getting more and more bolden. And what are your thoughts on that story and that incident?
What city was this?
This was in Wisconsin, some city in Wisconsin. And
that's not that far. That's not South.
Yeah, it's not the South. It's North.
So you have to take all of this in and dissect it and
But as you know, Hantie, racism has no indication of Southern stuff.
No.
It's a disease that for centuries has been popularized and is steeped in evolution, not God. They think that we're animals, and so they think that they can treat us any old way and behave any old way, and that's why they don't think they can listen and learn from us. And that's sad when you think people are Christians thinking that. But go ahead, Hantie.
Yeah, but Christianity compared to what happened on that stage is not Christianity.
Correct.
I mean that so we are equating what we are and what we live with that, and it just doesn't come together. However, I've not seen it to that drastic measure to jump on stage to keep someone black from handling or just shaking hands, which is harmless, with someone who is Caucasian. And it's not that far away from me. So distance is no barrier. We can no longer say it only happens in the South. And it's very disturbing to know that it happened at all. It's disturbing. It's disturbing to me. Now, this is the first that I have heard of it. And I have somewhat lived portions of it. I have not been handled or manhandled by someone who didn't want me to, be what I am, or So I imagine that superintendent, I'm going to take his side, and say whatever measure he took to protect his peace
Mm-hmm.
at a graduation.
Yeah.
Whatever measure he took, I'm going to back him up, because in this day and age, that is unacceptable.
And the sad part about this is that people feel more boldened
Mm.
to be, not be in society, to act out and do. And then obviously the man's the young lady's father was not sorry that he did it. He's sorry that it got out of hand. And
Oh, really? He is
oh yeah,
sorry?
he wasn't sorry. He said it. Well, according to what this thing says over here, this article. After Dr. Bridge was pushed out of the way and prevented from doing his job, you know, you know, the whole point is that these people that
In
do
Wisconsin?
yeah, Wisconsin, this gentleman, if you want to call him that, felt emboldened to physically come between a simple handshake. Now, my professor at school told me a long time ago, racism is about a black man and a white woman. Now you're saying, well, Ty, why are you saying that? Because this white gentleman had enough nerve to touch a black man, but you can't touch my daughter. And that's what it resonates with me, is that, that's mostly what racism is all about there. And it goes even deeper, but it starts right there, reproducing, mixed babies. And Hantie, you lived to that point where people were basically chastising the family if they married a black person. You were no longer in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I know mom, she's got to take the phone up here real quick.
Well, hello. Hi. I'm on with Todd.
Yeah, my aunt, she's, this is live, folk. We just go through it, so it is what it is.
Okay, sweetie. All right,
so,
bye.
But I just want, and thank you, Hantie. Just let you know, folks, this is like live and we just go through it. So this is not make believe. It's not. There's no casting. We just run through it. It is what it is.
When your kids call, yeah.
Which one was that? Hantie.
That was a wireless caller. That was Annabelle.
Oh, okay, got you. Well, tell her that we love her.
Oh well, she knows that.
But back to the subject here. It's just you're seeing more and more boldness of this, or maybe it's captured more. So, and it's actually talked about, which is not a bad thing to show what bad behavior really is for people. But, that's at a graduation, supposedly we have a better society than we've had before.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like people feel more emboldened to be more racial and deflects. And that to me feels like, you guys lived through the 60s where you couldn't go down south. And that's the reason why your first things like down south, it was like, don't look at someone's eyes. And I mean, it's just gotten really, really out of hand right now.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on that, Hantie, before we,
That's the part that I lived with, as a young child.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully what my dad went through, of course, he went through more of it than I did, but I did see it firsthand when I know what kind of car we had. We had a 1957 Ford driving through Mississippi, and they had it separated from where I think in those days they were calling them Negroes. They were not calling them blacks. They were not calling them Afro-American or anything. It was Negroes. And I saw that and felt that firsthand. But for that to go full circle and come back around to putting your hands on somebody because of the color of their skin.
In authority. This person is representing the
Yes.
school district where your child is graduating from.
Yeah.
Happens to be the head of it.
Yeah. Um, and I'm imagining that the superintendent, what's his name?
Briggs. I think it was the gentleman.
Briggs.
Yeah, I think his name is Briggs.
I'm imagining that he could not believe his ears, his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
that this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know if the audience reacted.
I didn't see when I looked at the video, Hantie. When I looked at the video, I didn't see them come up like real quick or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, did they say, did they
Yeah, you
gasp?
heard you heard the gas. You heard the gas. Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like you heard the disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone comes out there, you know what I'm saying, and you're supposed. This is graduation. Everybody's supposed to be in a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
But you're seeing people just get more embracing and emboldened just to say, you know what, I'm just going to put my values and I'm going to actually step in to act it out, and I don't care what anybody thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing more and more of this on all sides, whether you're the right or the left. You're seeing this more and more, and the respect of people and the sanctity of life is getting less and less,
Mm-hmm.
which is more disturbing. So it's very disturbing. Is an understatement.
What if that were to happen to you today?
Mm-hmm.
You being Mr. Briggs, what would you do?
First of all, you got to see if the man's holding anything threatening, right? You want to de-escalate the situation. Okay. And say,
Mm-hmm.
bring your voice down and say, sir, what's wrong here? Right. Because usually you can escalate it by doing that. Make sure everything's safe. Make sure everybody's around you. Stand your ground, kind of move away, whatever the case may be, and say, sir, please sit down. Otherwise, you will have to be restrained. Right. Give them a
Mm-hmm.
fair warning. Be restrained, sir. So please stop and don't touch me. Right. You're out of line and out of place.
You,
And
do you think he would really listen to you?
no. Those kind of people don't listen because remember, they're already in action mode of being
Right. And
of
you are
doing that,
not.
right? But the main thing is that nobody should get hurt. That's the whole idea. Minimal hurt for both parties, right? And so, if he keeps on persisting, you got to protect yourself, right? But hopefully, like sir, get away and push him away, and just because of who I am, I probably would shake his daughter's hand right in front of him and say, "Please get him right now," because those kind of
Mm.
people really need to be taught that this is a different day and age. Our society should have gotten better, and if you haven't gotten that memo yet, well, you need to know that, dude. This is not, we should, this was done away with a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is America. You know what I'm saying? We have progressed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry that you don't like the fact that, black man's in charge. Sorry
Mm.
about that. You know what I'm saying? But they're trying to do it to make a better place for everybody to feel safe. And let's just remember, I keep on reminding my friends who hate me because of the color of my skin, my ancestors didn't come over here willfully. We were brought in chains. In fact, we don't even have an address to go to because you took that away from us. Gave us new names. We couldn't even use our own language. We couldn't even use our own customs. And at the end of the day, you're saying, if you don't like this country, go back. Well, I'm sorry. This is my country. I got nothing to go back to because you took it away from me, to go away from us.
Good
So we got
comment.
to live here. So what the problem is, you don't want to be responsible for your bad actions and how you
Mm.
treated people and own up to it. So you don't be responsible for your responsibility. That's not my problem. Now let's try to work together to resolve this together versus this craziness that we have. Like, I came on a boat here willfully and came in this. Look, I just was born here. My ancestors were brought in chains here. It makes no sense why you tell me to go somewhere. Don't look. Half of us were raped here. Over half. We don't look like our folk from Africa. We're very distinctive features. We have all this stuff meshed into our system. You take a DNA test for most African Americans, we got all kinds of stuff in us. And so at the end of the day, I think the real problem is responsibility and understanding history. And it's so important to understand history. It's not just Black history. It's the whole totality of history needs to be taught and needs to be shown to everybody so you understand how we got here. Otherwise, people's lives just carry on. And we need to get better at this. So, come places like Texas and Florida, stop it. You're going to get more and more because you want these incidents to happen. You want this violence act to happen and people to get upraged and stuff like that to act like this. And the only way you stop it is educating people so they understand, wait a second, Todd. We weren't brought here because you wanted to. You were chained here and forced to have working here. So what are your thoughts before we get off, Hantie?
My thought is, I guess I really had a question. If I were Mr. Briggs, would I have felt better if he had sent me a warning? He knew how it was going to go down. Mm-hmm. That the superintendent was going to shake his daughter's hand. I wonder if he would have felt better if the perpetrator mm-hmm. Would have warned him or at least,
or better yet, don't have your daughter go to the thing knowing that that's what's going to happen.
Right. Some kind of conclusion on your part.
Yeah, really, Mr. Eddie, if that's your daughter and you don't want her to be, don't even have her go to the graduation. Let her get a diploma. But because you are so selfish.
If you were a peaceful person, something like that would have happened.
But he wanted to have. It reminds me of South Carolina when that white person went and shot those 9 people. He wants to start a race riot. You got people instigating and wanting us to act out on purpose with these incidences. And that's what these guys want. They want us to go, they want to start these race wars. And like, dude, we're family. We're all in this together. And as soon as you realize those kind of things, that's what I'm saying. Educate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Understand how real, not this made up stuff that people are doing, real education. Look, this really happened. Understand Black folk have contributed to American lifestyle, period. We built this economy. This, like I said, cotton
entertainment for you. I'm sure you watch sports. It's entertaining for you with your bottle of beer.
At the end of the day, we just want to live our life like every human being. Mm-hmm. But if you don't look at me as a human being, that's the problem.
Right. And I guess so.
And that's the whole thing. And that's why I said people who believe in evolution, that call themselves Christian, are not Christian. Just want to be honest with you.
So then the part 2 of this at a later date would be.
Well, let's just hope that this gentleman knows Jesus at some point.
I hope he
changes his heart, and just pray that that God changes his heart, his mind, so that he can get to the kingdom. Because you're not going to get to the kingdom hating your brother. The Bible clearly states correct. It lets you know right off the bat. So if you hate me and want to turn us off, you're always welcome to do that. This is a free country. But at the same time, too, I tell people all the time, I want you to get to the kingdom. And I want you to understand, I'm not talking about you. I'm praying for you. Mm-hmm. That you make it.
Talking about you to somebody who can do something about you.
That's right. And Hantie, we're going to end it on that note. So next time, we'll see where Mom and Dad talks. And pray for Mom and Dad. They need Jesus too.
That's right.
All right, bye.